That's how it's supposed to look?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah. I don't think your camera is working though.
All right, perfect. Well, we have what percentage? We're at 97. We should be.
This for the university. All right, we're recording now. I want to apologize first because I originally wanted to do this on the whiteboard on the sales floor in the office here in Tampa. I dropped the ball and didn't get a stand for my camera, so I gotta. Moving forward, I'll be able to do some trainings in front of the whiteboard for you guys and illustrate some of this. So, but I've got my notes here. All right, get your pen and paper out, take some notes. Because some of the, I'm going to give you some nuggets that you can try to get better with as you get back on the phones and start talking to people, all right? Because there's certain trigger words that small business owners like to hear that I hear being thrown around in our office constantly. And, the guys, the pipeline, just so you guys know, just getting the office staffed up and getting some agents in here and going through these scripts with them. And, guys, the office pipeline is getting built very, very quickly. So you're going to see some of these names on the board, in a very short period of time. But they're having success on you know, exactly the information that we're about to go over. All right, guys. So get your notes ready, get your pen and paper, and here we go. First of all, guys, I can't continue to stress enough. You know, you get what you put into this business. You get out of this business what you put into this business. So if you're giving a part-time effort, you can expect part-time income. I mean, that's the reality. You give a full-time effort, you can expect a full-time income, and your talent level will determine what that full-time income is. All right, guys. So, you know, to some people, their talent level, their full-time income is going to be 40 or 50,000. Other agents, their full-time efforts are going to equal 200,000. That's where talent level will come in. But a full-time effort will always equate to a full-time income. All right, guys. So I just can't stress that enough. You have to be putting full-time effort into this if you expect full-time money. The myth about working part-time and making six figures in this business, it's a myth if you are 1 year, 2 years, 3 years into a new business or a new opportunity. All right. Does it exist after you put your time in and earn your stripes? Absolutely, it exists. I can tell you countless examples of peers of mine in this industry that are making well into six figures, and they're not working very hard these days for it. But in the beginning of their career, they were hustlers. All right. So that's you know, Rich says it best all the time. You know, I learned this from him several years back, actually. And I still use it to this day in a lot of my trainings. He says, you know, in this business, you're overworked and underpaid in the beginning, but in a very quick period of time, you're going to be overpaid and underworked. All right. But you got to put that time in. So I just wanted to stress that before I go into everything else, guys, because it really does take a full-time effort. You know, and a lot of you are going to have to put that full-time effort in order to become I mean, you're all going to have to do that, actually, in order to become an expert at this business, at this game. If you want to be an expert and you want to talk as passionately about this, about these products and about your business as experts do, then you have to take what you're about to learn and apply it to the market, and then you're going to watch what happens. You'll see people will be receptive to you, a lot more receptive to you than maybe some of you have experienced in the early stages. All right. And I'll tell you, you know, I can pretty much diagnose where you might be missing it in the early stages if I was listening to you. So I'll tell you what some of the most common mistakes are that agents make and how to not make those mistakes. All right. But first, let me start off by saying, guys, the sales process, okay, it's not a straight line from getting a customer on the phone to getting to the application, okay? It starts here from getting a customer on the phone, and then it goes like this until you get to the application, okay? So it's not a straight line. It's actually a series of little sales that you're closing along the way to ultimately get the deal, okay? And I'm talking specifically about the small business owner market, guys. Remember, you know, this is how you're going to work small business owners, okay? The first sale that you need to make is quoting them, okay? You have to literally sell the customer on why they should hear what you have to offer, okay? And the way you're going to do that is by being confident, okay? By being passionate, all right? By building emotion. Remember, people buy on emotion. They don't buy on logic, all right? You know, that's all just tone, right? I'm not, you know, I haven't given you any nuggets on what to say yet. That's just tone. And people can tell whether or not you're passionate about what you do or whether or not you're confident in what you do by your tone, all right? I'm going to, throughout this, I'm going to put Evan on the spot a couple of times, rather. I know he's okay with it. So I'm putting Evan on the spot a couple of times here because, you know, I've been working very closely with Evan the last couple of weeks, and the traction that he's starting to get in his business is incredible. But we've dropped the ball a couple of times, right? We've heard him drop the ball a couple of times, but he gets coached up and he doesn't make that mistake twice. So, guys, first of all, you know, when Evan first got on the phone, he was very monotone, right? This is Evan with AHBT, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't getting a lot of traction, but it took him not a very long time at all. And I mean, within hours to learn that he had to come across as very confident, very passionate, and even build some emotion on that upfront if needed, all right? So the way you do that, guys, is you really want to slow it down, okay? Too many agents in the beginning get somebody on the phone and they say, hey, this is Drew with AHBT. I'm an expert health insurance agent. I want to see if I can run you a quote. Okay, no, I'm not interested. Click, right? I already have health insurance. Click, you know? You really want to slow it down when you're talking to small business owners, okay? And so it sounds like this. Hey, this is Drew with AHBT. How you doing today? Okay? Engage them right away. How you doing today? You know, Evan will say, hey, this is Evan with AHBT. How you doing on this beautiful sunny Florida day? You know, that's chipper, right? There's people they're going to engage him right away. The responses he's getting from that are, I'm fine. How are you? Right? Oh, I'm doing okay. You know, I got a lot going on. What can I help you with? You're going to get a much more positive response when you deliver your, when you deliver your intro a lot more positively. All right. And make it about them. Hey, man, how you doing today? You know, and most of the time they're going to say, I'm great. How are you? Right. And you'll say, I'm fine. You know, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. And then you're going to go into why you're calling. All right. But slow it down. Always ask them how they're doing today. All right. Get that response. If they're having a real shitty day, they're going to tell you right up front, you know, I'm not having a good day, man. What do you need? You know, right there, you probably gotta, you gotta push through what you gotta tell them and see if you can get something going there. But the odds are low, right? So you can kind of gauge, and Evan and I talked about this yesterday. When you do that, when you make that first, hey, how you doing? And they respond positively to you and answer that question, the odds of getting the lead just went up quite a bit, okay? So slow it down. Don't be so quick you think you got to get them on the phone and give them a sly sales pitch line and go into it. Slow it down. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them how their day is. Hey, if you're in Florida, are you prepared for I heard Evan this morning on the phone, just getting ready for Dorian coming up the coast. Are you guys prepared? Go ahead and stay safe, man. People are talking to them. Okay, they're engaging them. All right, so slow it down. That's number one. Be confident, be passionate. That's with tone, all right? And slow it down. Hey, this is Drew with AHBT. How you doing today? Right? And get them talking, all right? That's the first little nugget, guys. Believe it or not, that will help out drastically, all right? Then you want to tell them what you do. You want to be quick about telling them what you do, all right? You want to tell them how you can help them. You want to be quick about telling them how you can help them. The best thing to do would be to try to build a little bit of emotion in that if you could. Remember, people buy on emotion, not on logic, right? So if you can build a little emotion up with telling them who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, even better, all right? But you got to be quick with that. Hey, I'm great. Thanks for asking. I'm glad you're doing good. Listen, I'm an expert health insurance agent. I'm passionate about working with small business owners and helping them find the option that best fits their needs. Okay, I just told them what I do, what I can do for them. I might build a little emotion. I know the health insurance market has been jacked up. I've heard a lot of horror stories. What am I doing? I'm building emotion. Maybe they have a horror story they want to tell me about, right? Or an agent they got burned with in the past, right? I'd love to see if there's an opportunity here to earn your business and run a quick quote for you. And then you shut up. You're going to be a lot more effective delivering your intro like that than if you just get them on the phone, read a script verbatim, okay, and expect more yeses than nos. You're still going to get more no's than yeses going my route. So don't think that this is the magic potion. And remember, not everybody is going to be a pro at this right off the bat. You got to practice this, okay? But the first sale is getting the quote. All right. And the best way to do that, slow it down, be passionate about why you're calling and what you can do for them. Be confident in your services and your products. All right. And try to build some emotion when you can. So, hey, this is Drew with AHBT. How you doing today? Great. Listen, I'm an expert health insurance agent. I'm passionate about working with small business owners to save them money on their health insurance and find the best option for them. I can get all that out because I've slowed the conversation down a little bit, right? I'd love to see if there's an opportunity here to earn your business and run a quick quote for you on one of the best plans in your area. You know, I know the health insurance market has been a mess lately. You know, if anything you want to tell me about your experience would be helpful, right? So that's the first sale, okay? So that's the first thing you got to master at this, guys, is that first sale, all right? That's called building your pipeline, all right? That's called putting irons in the fire. That's what we talk about on a regular basis. When we say get 5 quotes out a day, run that script 100 times on the dialer, and I guarantee you will get 5 quotes out, maybe even more. And make a game out of it. Because if you're not having fun playing your game, you guys shouldn't be playing your game, okay? To me, this is fun. All right, I'm enjoying this right now. This is what I love to do, okay? So you guys should be as passionate about that, okay, and about finding the next customer you can help. Make a game out of it. When you make that initial contact and you ask somebody how they're doing and they answer you, I'm great, how are you? The odds of you getting that lead just went up, all right? Now I want to give you a couple of nuggets in there and go over some of the most common objections that you guys will get on that initial contact and how you can overcome them. Now, some of you will take the first objection that you get and you'll hang up the phone, right? I already have health insurance, click. I get my insurance through my wife's job, click, right? If you're hearing those objections, okay, and you're not asking at least one extra question, all right, you're not getting as much out of your dial time as you could be. Okay, that one extra question that you ask could be the difference between you getting a prospect and you being hung up on, right? But if you still get hung up on and they shoot you down on the second question, are you any worse off than when you were when they answered you the first time? No. So it's no different. Okay, so that extra question to keep the conversation going is what you got to get fluent in. Okay, so the first thing you got to get fluent is that intro and being passionate and your tone and being confident and building some emotion and slowing down the conversation and getting them to talk and telling them what you do. Guys, there's 2 words that I said in that opening presentation that you should all be using because they're hot buttons for business owners. The first one is passion, okay? I don't just sound passionate. I tell them I'm passionate about helping small business owners find the best option for them. That's a hot button for a small business owner because at one point, they were passionate about what they did. They might not be passionate about it anymore, right? Someone told them it was a good idea to be an entrepreneur and they busted their ass for 20 years, to try and chase the American dream, and they're still working in their business. They might not be, they might not be passionate about it anymore. But the fact that you're passionate about what you do is a trigger for them, right? They're going to think, maybe I should listen to this person. Maybe I should do some business with this person. So telling people that you're passionate about helping them, especially small business owners, that's a trigger word, okay? They like that. The second trigger word that I used in that opening phrase was opportunity, okay? What entrepreneur doesn't love a good opportunity, right? Mr. Jones, I'd love to see if there's an opportunity here to earn your business. You're not asking for a sale. You're not being too aggressive. You're talking business owner language. I'd love to see if there's an opportunity here to earn your business, right? So those 2 words should be a part of your opening intro when you're on the dialer and you're approaching a small business owner and all you have is a name and a number and the odds are good they buy our product, okay? You got to be passionate. You got to be confident. You can build some emotion in the individual health insurance market, but using those 2 words as trigger words are going to help out drastically. Okay, so write this down. I'm going to say it again. Hey, this is Drew with AHBT. How you doing today? Great. Listen, I'm an expert health insurance agent. I specialize in I'm passionate about working with small business owners to find the best option for them. All right. The health insurance market has been a mess the last few years, but starting to stabilize, and we've seen some incredible plans hit the market as early as this year. I'd love to see if there's an opportunity to earn your business and run a quick quote for you on what I feel is the best option for you in your area. And you shut up. And if you deliver it like that, guys, you're going to get plenty of people that are willing to talk to you. Plenty. Trust me, I see it every day, all day long. Evan's talk time on the phone is incredible. Okay, the guy's on the phone all day. All right, so be passionate, be confident, build a little emotion, use those trigger words. You're passionate about what you do, okay, and you'd love to see if there's an opportunity to earn their business, okay? Now, back to asking that extra question when you get the first objection, okay? What's the most common objection you're going to hear? I already have health insurance, right? That's the most common objection you're going to hear up front. I already have health insurance. What would be a good question to ask? I understand you. Most of the people I talk to this time of year already have health insurance. What do you have currently? Who are you with? And remember what we talked about on Wednesday. What are some of those selling windows to jump through? What if they tell you, I'm with Freedom Life? I'm with Manhattan Life. I'm with HII. Oh, I've got a marketplace plan, right? If they tell you what they have, now you can spin that right away. Oh, you've got Freedom Life? Well, I'm very familiar with that product, and it's actually a great sales organization, but their product isn't as strong as some of the other options on the market. I'd love to show you what we have to offer and see if there's an opportunity here to earn your business, right? And you ask them again for the quote, right? What if they say, I'm all set. I have an Obamacare plan. Oh, well, I know let me ask you, do you have a subsidy? Because if you don't have a subsidy, you're probably paying, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, right? You've been building a little bit of emotion asking that second question. They might say, none of your business, jerk, click, but you're no worse off than you were when they already said, I'm fine, I'm already covered. So asking that other question. Someone says, I've already got a group plan, right? I'm good, I'm on my wife's group plan. Oh, well, in my experience, I've seen that when, the employee adds their family members to their group plan, it really gouges their paychecks. Building emotion, right? And asking the second question, right? Is that the situation for you? Is your wife paying hundreds of dollars out of their group, out of her paycheck for your group plan? Because there might be an opportunity here to save you some money, right? So asking that second question, and that's going to come with again, confidence, and it's going to come with repetition, doing this more and more, knowing what's out there on the market, knowing what your products are up against. But guys, trust me when I tell you, all right, I've been doing this since 2005. I personally have Philadelphia American. I've had National General. I've had United Healthcare. And these are the carriers that I buy in today's market. All right, guys, we provide the best products in today's market. So as long as you have the confidence in that, you should be able to get through that first sale. All right, you should be able to get through that first sale in the sales process and pump quotes out there. All right, so you'll pump quotes out there by the masses, and then your leaders are trained and well equipped to help you close those deals. All right, and we're even willing to get on the phone with your customers and present to them. We don't want you guys to have deals slip through the cracks. We're here to help you. All right, so master that before you go on to mastering the next thing. Okay, master getting quotes out. Now, when you get after you get, you get somebody who says, yeah, I'll give you an opportunity, right? I'll give you an opportunity. What do you do? What's the final step to getting a quote out? Qualifying, right? So now you got to qualify them. Now you're on to the qualifying section, okay? Get as much information as humanly possible. You should all know what you need in order to get a quote out. You need zip code, you need birth dates of everybody to be on the plan, whether or not they smoke, right? The primary or the spouse, tobacco users. You need medical history. You need to know if they take, if they have any serious conditions currently, right? So you need that information to get a quote out anyway, right? You've sold them on the upfront. You got the first sale. You closed the first sale. They're going to give you an opportunity to earn their business. Now you got to qualify them, okay? Get as much info as you can. You know what you need, right? But what would be some more information that you can get, okay? Who's your current carrier? What are you currently paying? Is there anything you can tell me as far as your experience goes in the individual health market, right? What have you noticed that's worked for you? What hasn't? Is there a specific carrier out there that might have worked for you, right? Ask those questions, right? Ask those questions, because all you're doing is getting as many nuggets as you can to build your case, right? So Evan, putting him on the spot, he had a guy who told him, all I want is catastrophic coverage, just in case, right? So Evan sends him a Health Savers Gold plan, right? Which we know what that with Philadelphia American. We have the short-term medical wrap plan, right? Evan calls him back and says, hey, did you get an opportunity to look at what I sent you? And the guy said, well, I saw some kind of Aflac looking plan, and Evan got all flustered and, we lost it. We're going to call that guy and save that again because, he doesn't know what he was looking at. But Evan could have used the nugget that he got on the first conversation when the guy said, I'm looking for a catastrophic plan. And he comes back with, oh, I saw some kind of Aflac plan. Evan's response should have been, well, I don't know what you're looking at because I didn't send you an Aflac plan. I sent you a low deductible plan with 100% catastrophic coverage to $1 million. That's what I sent you. So I'd love the opportunity to sit down with you, go over it, and explain the benefits to you. Okay, so when you're qualifying them, get as much information as you can because it's only going to help in the sales process when you get later into the sales process. Now, going on to the second sale, okay? Remember, the sales process is 3 sales. Getting the quote out, we just did that, right? Now we're going into the second sale, and that is the tie-down conversation, setting the appointment. What I'm noticing and is people are looking at the quote and they're making a quick decision because they think they see something, right? One guy said, I don't want a $50,000 deductible. No way, I'd never do that, right? Other guy said, I want catastrophic. This is an Aflac plan. I don't want that, right? A little easier if you're selling National General or United Healthcare and you got some brand names behind you backing it up, but nobody knows who Philadelphia American is. Could be a little tougher sale, right? But the way we're layering the plans, we know we're covering the customers the right way. And if we can tie them down to talk about it and go over the policy and why we build it the way that we do, then we're going to get the deal, right? And we can even put it up against UHC, Health Protector Guard, and NatGen Short Term, let them know the pros and cons. Once we have them at that point, right, we can go over other options with them, right, or whatever product you guys are leading in with, right? But the tie-down conversation is important because if you don't tie them down to talk about the plan, make them feel comfortable with the purchase, you're never going to get the deal. Now, this should be an easy system for some of you old school agents that have been in a system where you've taken leads, booked appointments, ran appointments, and sat across the kitchen table from people. This should be an easy transition. Now you're just doing it over the phone. It's the same mentality though. And I've even told customers, Mr. Jones, I want to set up a time that I can have you in front, I want to do a 2019 insurance appointment with you. So what that means is I'm not going to come to your house, knock on your door, and sit at your living room with, some brochures on your coffee table and go over stuff. What I'm going to do is call you on the phone. I want you in front of your computer. I want to share my screen with you. You guys got Join Me you can use. I think there's a couple other free meeting share screen deals out there. They're free. So you can share your screen with the customer, show them what you're doing. I want you to see what I'm doing, Mr. Jones. I want to explain why I build the plan for you. And we can even shop the network with you on the phone. Guys, how many of you have ever sold a product belly to belly where you had to book the appointment, and when you booked the appointment and went and actually had appointments show, how many of you had a closing percentage of 70, 80% or better? I bet there's a few of you on this call that have had that experience. This is no different. It's just getting your mind wrapped around doing it remotely, right? So sale number 2 is the tie-down appointment. Now, what this is going to look like, guys, could be a series of 10 phone calls to the person, right? When I read this stat about how most people don't follow up, right? Most agents don't follow up. Literally, like 58% of direct sales people never make a second phone call to a lead. I mean, I hope that's none of you. I hope everybody understands that it takes a minimum of 5 to 7 phone calls to get a deal, right? That's something you guys all have to understand. All right, so this getting a tie-down appointment could very well take 10 phone calls. I got some leads I sent up to Joe Moranto this week, and he said I sent him like 15 leads, and he called them, and I followed up. I said, hey, how'd those leads work out? You called him? He said, yeah. He goes, I know how to play those, though. Those are 2 phone calls every week until I get them. I'll get them. No, in other words, nobody that he made contact with told him, F off, don't call me, leave me alone. Nobody. Everybody told him, I haven't looked at the information yet. Now's not a good time. Call me later. So what Joe will do is Joe will be professionally aggressive, okay? You have to be professionally aggressive, okay? Joe will follow up with this guy. He will follow up twice a week, every week, until he can hit this guy at the right time to tie down the conversation. Guys, if you're not annoying with it, which you're not going to be, right? You guys all understand, the difference between being annoying and professionally aggressive. If you're professionally aggressive, guess what? Small business owners appreciate that. And they want to do business with somebody who is engaged enough in their business to continue to follow up with them, okay? They will respect you for that. I guarantee it. And when you follow up with them, hey, what's up, Joe? This is Drew with AHPT. Just checking in with you to see if you looked at that information I sent you yet. No, I haven't looked at it. What am I going to do then? I'm going to tie down the appointment. Mr. Jones, it's really important that we go through this together and you understand the product and why I'm building the product the way that I'm building it. And then the best thing to do is set a time. I will call you. We will go through it together. Ideally, I have you in front of a computer so you can see what I'm doing. You can even see me. I can see you, and it'll just be like I'm sitting in your living room, right? Selling insurance like it was 1999, right? So the tie-down appointment is important, okay? And you're going to get the objections that people are going to jump to conclusions right away, especially if you're pushing Philly first. Which, guys, when we roll out the MDRT requirements and the TRIP requirements, you're actually going to have more of an incentive to hit those milestones selling Philly. Selling Philly will get you there faster, okay? Philadelphia American is the company that we want to be number 1 with as an agency. We don't have an opportunity to be number 1 with UHC or NatGen right now, but we got an opportunity to be number 1 with Philly. That's what we want to do, all right? So you're going to have an incentive to sell Philly. All right, so but if you're selling Philly first, you're sending the quote out for Philadelphia American, people are going to jump to the conclusions that they're going to make right away without talking to you, and they're going to make those objections. If you're an agent that takes an objection and hangs up the phone, guy says, I don't want a $50,000 deductible, and you say, okay, click, then you don't know your product, and you got to go back to the drawing board. Call your leader and say, hey, why did I lose this deal? Well, you lose this deal because you failed to tell the person that, well, miss, you're not reading it right. You're only looking at a portion of the coverage. You're looking at the catastrophic portion of the coverage. You're missing the 0 deductible plan that I have built into this, right? So you have to know the product and the bundle that you're building, and you have to be confident that it is the best option that you can provide to that customer. All right, guys? So your follow-up game has to be tight, okay? Has to be very tight. On that initial conversation, people give you the opportunity to earn their business. You send them a quote, okay? I don't care if you're working small business owner leads, internet leads, telemarketer leads. I don't care. You still have to sell yourself on getting, earning their business, right? So that's the first sale, running the quote, getting the quote out. The second sale is tying down the conversation, okay? Now, when you get the quote out, if you say to the people, yeah, I'm going to run this quote to you, and I'll call you next week. Your show percentage on those follow-up calls is going to be minimal because it's nonchalant. The people are like, yeah, whatever, call me next week. They have no obligation to you, okay? But if you set the hard follow-up time, right? Okay, Mr. Jones, I'm going to go ahead and run this quote for you. Now, here's where you guys gotta, you have to be smart to know who you have on the phone. Let's say you have a talker on the phone. You can do all these series of sales in one phone call. So I don't want you guys to think that you have to make multiple phone calls to a lead, because you can get through all these steps in one phone call. But the reality is 5 phone calls minimum to get a deal, right? That's just the way, sales is, all right? So when, so the follow-up, you get the quote out. Mr. Jones, I'm going to go ahead and send this quote out to you. I really appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. When are you going to have a chance to look at it? Ask them. When are you going to have a chance to look at this quote? Tonight, tomorrow, over the weekend? Let's say, give me the weekend, right? You talk to people today, give me the weekend. Okay, I'll give you the weekend. What I want to do is I want to follow up with you on Tuesday, if that works for you. Ideally, you're going to have some questions when you look at it. Plant the seed up front, okay? You're inevitably going to have some questions when you look at it. You probably never heard of Philadelphia American. Plant the seed, okay? Get that objection out in the universe already, right? You're probably going to have some questions when you see this, okay? You might not understand it. That's why I want to set up a time. You're going to look at it this weekend. That's great. I want to set up a time to give you a call back, and we can go over it together and answer any questions that you have. So if you're going to look at it this weekend, Tuesday, does 10 o'clock work for you, or 2 o'clock? Which one's better? And you set that hard appointment. Your show ratio on those hard appointments is going to be significantly higher than your show ratio if you just say, yeah, I'll send it out to you and I'll call you next week. I guarantee it. So get better at being professionally aggressive, all right? Being professionally aggressive. I'm going to go ahead and send this information to you. When are you going to look at it? Let them tell you. I'm going to look at it this day. Great. I will call you this day. I want you to have questions ready for me. Ideally, you're in front of a computer and I can go over everything with you. I've said that to people, and then they said, oh, well, then that time's not going to work. You know what? I love that, because that's a buyer, right? Now they want to be in front of the computer and hear what I have to offer. Oh, well, Tuesday at 2 won't work then if I need to be in front of a computer. Tuesday at 7 p.m. will work. When I'm home, I'm relaxed. I got a vodka in me, right? So that's, guys, you got to get professionally aggressive. That's the second sale, tying down that appointment, okay? Sale number 1, getting the quote out. You guys have, I gave you a script. I gave you some trigger words to use. You got to qualify them, get as much information as you can, gather as many nuggets as you can, okay? The basics, zip code, date of birth, medical history, tobacco use, and then throw this last one in there. Is there anything you can tell me about your experience on the individual health insurance market? Is there a plan that you had that worked better for you? Is there something you like about your plan right now that it does? Something you hate about it? Try to get a couple nuggets. Okay, guys? So that's the first sale, running the quotes. Second sale, tying down the appointment. Set the appointment. All right? What I'm finding is, because we got quotes going out in droves at the office, or we got a lot of quotes going on. People like the price. Their concern, especially with Philadelphia American, their concern is, I don't know, Philly, right? Or I'm not reading this right, right? And some guys will, or girls, they will jump to conclusions on what you sent them. Well, it looks like an Aflac plan. That's not what I want. No, you told me you wanted a catastrophic plan, and guess what? I have a catastrophic plan built into this policy. Let's go over it together, okay? So find as many nuggets when you're qualifying them, all right, guys? Then you're on to the follow-up game. Again, if after qualifying them, you guys have a talker, okay, you should be putting the quote into your computer right then and there, okay? And going over the plan. Someone's talking to you, keep them on the phone. All right, guys? But in most cases, you're going to have multiple phone calls to get the sale, and you really want to tie down the appointment. The more appointments you have tied down, the better chance you have of those follow-ups answering the phone and doing business with you, okay? So that's the second sale. The third sale is the actual presentation of the product, okay? The third sale is the presentation of the product. So now I've reached out to them, I have quoted them, I've sold them on, given me the opportunity to earn their business. I have now followed up with this customer and this prospect, and I have tied down an appointment time to talk to them, and now it's the appointment, right? And now is my presentation time, right? Now, this is, if you were doing sales in like when I did sales in a health club, this was the only part I had to learn, was the presentation part, right? Because they came into the gym. So they're already giving me the opportunity to earn their business, right? I've already got an appointment with them. We're here shaking hands. Now I just had to learn the presentation part, okay? That's, car sales, furniture sales, all the same thing. Direct sales, you guys have those first two steps to get through. But now you're going to present to them. Now you've got the appointment, okay? And this is where you're going to build your case, okay? Build your case. Why did you quote them what you quoted them, okay? If I was quoting them a Philadelphia American plan, I would say something like this. I would go through it line by line. The first plan I got you set up with is the Health Choice Plan. This is the product, that you're going to get a card for and put it in your pocket. This will be the card that you show most of the doctors and ER and hospital when you need to. You've got 20 doctor visits covered on this plan. You've got 2 times the Medicare surgery schedule. You get a drug benefit of $10 for generics, $20 for brand names. I'd bullet point a little bit, right? It's a zero deductible plan with an annual maximum of $250. I'd bullet point it. $5 million lifetime max. Teladoc, Caris Group. This is plan number 1, okay? And it's the first dollar coverage plan. It's going to take care of all of your minor needs, including the average claim in the hospital, which is $3,000. That's the average claim in the hospital. Take all the stitched fingers into account and all the hearts that were attacked, okay? The average claim is $3,000 in the hospital. A limited med policy is going to cover the average claim in the hospital better than a major med with a high deductible 100% of the time, okay? And I tell the customer that, and I deliver it to them just like that. You think I'm closing it? I'm closing it, okay? So that's plan number 1, Mr. Jones. Now, with a limited med policy, Mr. Jones, there's 2 gaps in the coverage. The first gap is in the outpatient accident. I filled that gap with this accident plan, this $4,000 accident plan. So now if you have that typical stitch or casting that needs to be done, then you've got the first $4,000 covered. So I filled that gap for you. The second gap in limited med products is in the catastrophic, the major stuff, the $500,000 claim, the $1 million claim, and I have filled that gap with this major med policy, this short-term med wrap plan. This is a major med policy with 100% coverage to $1 million after a $50,000 deductible is met. So the Health Choice Plan is going to take care of the majority of that first 50,000, and then after 50,000, you're going to be covered 100% to $1 million. And that's how you explain it, right? And you take the discussion in whatever direction it goes. If they have more questions about the network, you go to the network website. If they have questions about other products, pull up another product and put it back to back and compare it. You know, but when you have that tie down appointment, all right, now you've as good as got them. Okay, if you have tie down appointments and people are ready to listen to you, you better know how to explain the product that you pitched them. You better be able to build your case. A screen share appointment is the most effective way to do that because it becomes very personal. Okay. I've been, sat across from, Sally and Joe, countless amounts of times, but sitting in my office in Chicago. And they were out in, who knows, Missouri, and we're sitting down having an insurance discussion. They're asking questions. Now, if you're doing a husband and wife pitch, it's sales, guys. You got to win them both over. Build your case. Just walk them through the benefits, walk them through the networks, get them to the point where they have a good understanding of what you're offering, and then you ask for the sale. Great. I'm glad you understand everything. I'm glad I was able to answer all your questions. Let's go ahead and see if we can get you approved for this one. Boom. Okay. It's that smooth. Okay, guys? So that's how you're going to be successful selling over the phone. All right? So just to reiterate here, I'm going to go ahead and review real quick. Stressing, guys, full-time money equals a full-time effort. Okay? If you want full-time money, you got to put a full-time effort in. Everybody's full-time money is going to be dependent upon their talent level. The sales process when working with small business owners is a series of 3 sales. You got to sell them on running the quote. You got to sell them on the hard appointment. And then you got to sell them on the product that you're presenting to them. Focus on mastering. In the office here, we get them to master the first thing. Master running the quotes. Run the quotes, run the quotes, run the quotes. Now Evan is in the process of mastering the tie-down appointments. We just tied one down right before we got on the phone here. Tuesday at 10 a.m. Tropical storm Dorian pending, right? Permitting. So Tuesday at 10 a.m. We've got an appointment. It's tied down, okay? He's going to master that. Now he's going to see how we present the product and how we do it all, to get our customers from point A being prospects to point B being customers. All right, guys. That's what I've got for my notes. I hope this helps. All right, guys. Depending on where you are with your expertise, these are the things you got to go to work on. You got to go to work on getting quotes out, putting irons in the fire. Talking to one person a week, 2 people a week, that's part-time money. Okay, if you want to work part-time, God, we love you where you're at, right? You want to be part-time forever, that's fine. Okay, but if you got to make an income, you got to work full-time, give a full-time effort, and you will earn full-time dollars. Okay, again, your talent level will determine how much. All right, so I see some questions here in the chat. Let's see if I can answer anything. Shoot.
Obviously, if we master the sales process, we're not going to be $40,000, $50,000.
Absolutely not. Guys, if you master this sales process, Evan just asked, if you master this and work full-time, are you going to be making $40,000, $50,000 a year? And the answer is no. You'll be making $200,000 a year plus. Okay? Those are the numbers. $200,000 a year plus if you master this sales process. Okay? If you are constantly putting new irons in the fire, okay, running new quotes, if you are constantly booking new appointments and you are constantly presenting to new prospects, you will make a ton of money. Okay? A ton of money. All right? Because again, talent level, your talent level will, you'll if you are mastering these three things, you're going to have a very high talent level. All right? So, but guys, the way you become a master of it is by doing it. You can sit on 1 million of these trainings, but the way you're going to master it is by doing it. Deborah asked, there's no wrap plan in Florida. You're 100% right. In Florida, I would be, what we're doing from the office is we're pitching the gold plan, $500,000 annually, adding the critical illness plan, adding the accident plan. And when we get them to the point of explaining the benefits, we're going to stress that, there still may be, a gap in the catastrophic coverage. So, in that point, we'll add on, either a short term with, NatGen or, but you really got to gauge what's important to the customer. I would sleep just fine at night with a customer who has a gold plan, a critical illness plan, and an accident plan, because I would know that, again, that policy is going to cover that perfectly in the hospital, for the average claim. That's going to be a better policy than anything else. And if, God forbid, the big one comes, they're not going to be mad at me. They got a plan there that's going to cover their sickness up to $500,000 for the first, for the calendar year that we're in. They're going to get a check in the mail for 30, 40, 50 grand. And we're going to talk to them again when open enrollment comes around and discuss getting them a permanent plan. But yes, I agree with you, Deborah. I'm eagerly awaiting those catastrophic riders in Florida myself. All right, guys. Everybody else, anybody else have any questions? What is a better way to go? Start in Florida, NatGen, or Philly? Guys, I really leave that up to you, I like the Philly plan because it's permanent. I play off of that. I feed off the fact that it's permanent, that it covers a lot of the first dollar things. I like selling permanent plans versus short-term plans. But guys, if you believe, especially in Florida, right, because the catastrophic riders aren't available yet, if you believe that the best option for a customer is the short-term with NatGen, then that's what I want you to sell. Doesn't change anything in this sales process other than the fact that when you sit down with them on a tied down appointment, instead of explaining Philly, you're explaining NatGen now and telling them and building your case as to why you quoted them. So it might sound like this. Mr. Jones, there's only a couple of short-term products on the market that are real short-term major medicals. A lot of them are, claim to be short-term major medicals, but they're short-term defined benefit plans. National General is one of those few very real short-term major medical plans, and now you can get locked in for 2 years, okay? So, and then you build it. Now, so this is it's a $5,000 major medical plan. You have $50 copays to the urgent care. Everything else is subject to your deductible, but I've added this plan enhancer, which will cover your accidents and being hospitalized due to sickness. The premium is this. It's the same principles. All right, guys, so you got to do the homework as a health insurance broker. I'm never going to tell you, sell this over this. I will say you're going to have an incentive to sell Philly, because that's the company that our agency is really building a rock solid relationship with and wants to be number one with. So we'll give you guys some extra incentives to sell Philly, but guys, NatGen business just as good. How does Teladoc work and cost? Teladoc is free. It's included in every product we market. The way that it works is customer calls the Teladoc number, sets an appointment with a doctor on the phone. Sometimes it's a virtual, other times it's just a phone call. You give them the symptoms, they call the script into the nearest pharmacy. It's a 5-minute process and it's beautiful. So, all right, guys. I hope this helps. All right, guys, I hope that you're going to go ahead and apply some of this information and master it. Remember the 2 words on your upfront. Tell them you're passionate about what you do and how you can help them, and ask for the opportunity to earn their business. Small business owners love that, love those lines, those trigger words. They love a good opportunity. And, you know, at one point or another, they were certainly passionate. They still might be very passionate about what they do, and they want to work with people who are passionate about what they do. So, all right, guys, everybody have a phenomenal Labor Day weekend. Those of you in Florida, stay safe, and we'll all reconvene next week. You remember we got our sales meeting on Wednesday next week, and we've got our big announcement. We're going to talk about the career milestones and how you can work your way into some profit sharing with AHBT. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Oh, shoot. I just cracked it. Good. Hey, JB, let me know how much that phone is. The Galaxy 7. Just cracked it. I just literally cracked it. Text me to let me know you received that message. Thanks. You already made your fucking decision. So what the fuck? So what are you talking about? Click, please don't call me no more. What the fuck is wrong with you? So you already made that goddamn decision. That's the fuck you did. You know what? You know what? You go with your. So what do you think? What do you think? I'm not gonna answer that for you. You trying to say? You want to say, Dion? I want you to say it's okay. Yeah, isn't that what you want? Yeah, then say that. Yeah, please get the fuck away from me. Please. Please leave me.